had pursued a greater existence for us all. What have you ever done but serve yourself? It's selfishness that slaughters hope!
Your death doesn't fix anything, Piety, but at least it won't get any worse.
You have claimed the most worthy of prey, Makoru. Piety, the mistress of corruption. I'm not saying the war is over, but you've given Rayclast a much-needed respite. Because of you, this land lives to see another dawn. And don't forget that you've done Grigor and Clarissa a justice of some magnitude. They will wish to speak to you. There is nothing else.
Piety's off to meet the Maker, is she? I'd love to be a fly on the wall of that little chat.
Wherever he is, I'm sure Tolman knows what you've done. I know you didn't do it for him, or for me. It doesn't matter. Piety's reign of cruelty is over. Thank you. Watch yourself.
Piety dies amongst her abominations, her warped dream taunting her, maddeningly out of reach. As a poet, I'm fond of that creed of justice. Here, the executioner needs recompense. Unfortunately, Piety was simply a puppet of a greater force. You've cut the strings, but the master remains. Dominus. That key you've picked up, I heard the blackguards talk of it. It's the one key to the Scepter of God on the northern edge of the blackguard encampment. Only Piety was permitted to carry it. Dominus accessed his laboratory at the summit of the tower via a pulley system rigged to the outside wall. That way will be barred to you. And I heard of no one, not even Piety, going in or coming out of the lower levels. Go with care, Exile. I can't imagine what's inside that tower if even Piety and Dominus feared to tread its steps.
I'm not up to that just yet.
Years ago, Einar was wandering the fields near Sun in search of a worthy survivor. I did not find one. Then I did not find water. Then I did not find shelter. This was a
You there. Let me bend your ear for a moment. Even more full of yourself than last time, I see. The bigger the head, the badder the fall, my old man used to say. Walk around Rayclast with an attitude like that, and you're going to wind up in some undying's larder. Allow me to arrange the beating of some sense back into you. So here's how this works. You take a crack at me, your very best shot. I make you fight for your life. Right now, I haven't quite decided exactly how. Just be ready for anything. I win, you die. You win, and I'm not actually sure to tell. Now here I was going on about your inflated head, but it was my head that got shrunk faster than a pair of testicles in an ice bath. I won't be underestimating you again in a hurry.
That would only slow me down. I'm not up to that just yet.
You are captured.
That would only slow me down. That would only slow me down.
A leader cannot simply stride forward into the future and expect his people to be able to follow. A leader must look over his shoulder so that he can witness and understand the consequences of the path he has chosen. To ensure that his people are still with him. To ensure that
I'm
he
not
has
up to
not
that just
become
yet.
lost. An emperor must know precisely where he stands.
Heard you have a posse to call your own now. Don't ask me how I know. A good fighter needs more than one pair of eyes. Now, settling down can be a tricky business. My 3 ex-wives will tell you that. As luck would have it, I've been looking around for a cozy nook in which to set down my stone wheel. How about it? Need someone like me to sharpen up the place? The Karui have spent centuries perfecting the art of war, and Haku is one of their finest artists.
is it?
I was the Emperor's favorite for a time. But Chitus had many favorites. He filled the scepter of God with favorites. Every now and then, he cleared away the clutter. Those who pleased him, they were given to his lords and generals. Those who did not were given to his thaumaturgists. I talked too much, asked too many difficult questions. I was gifted to Malachi. My dear, troubled Malachi. Believe me.
A leader cannot simply stride forward into the future and expect his people to be able to follow. A leader must look over his shoulder so that he can witness and understand the consequences of the path, to ensure that his people are still with him, to ensure that he has not become worse.
Look at the sheen on that plum. Is it not the most delectable fruit that you've ever seen? No? Perhaps the glass of hope is for my eyes only. Wondrous! Nothing bonds two souls more soundly than murder. For that reason alone, I knew you could be relied upon. Now, for a little amateur vintnering. A quick squeeze of the plum, like so, into the decanter. Oh my! Look how it transmutes the juice so swiftly, from material to spectral. Effortless. And what an aroma. Imminent death never smelled so sweet. I believe I shall call this fine concoction the Imperial Nightcap. Now, before I get too carried away, there's the small matter of your recompense. A toast to swift endings and promising new beginnings. Oh, and you might want to avert your gaze once I have quaffed this diabolical brew. But I doubt that my return to solidarity will be a pretty one. Right. As I used to say in the love dens of Trathus, bottoms up, girls. Oh, my. Now, that's an unusual sensation. Oh, dear. Something is amiss. The All Flame. It's... No. No, no, no. It's gone out. What am I... What are you? No. You cannot be. I will not...
Why do we insist on building mountains? Why not just go and climb them?
When piety was experimenting on me, my consciousness was mercifully fleeting. In those moments of numbing darkness, I met a presence. Intelligence, power, immensity beyond the limits of my pitiable mortal senses. To this creature, I was but a raindrop falling into the sea. I heard Piety speak to her lackeys of the beast. It is the source of her thaumaturgy and the object of her ambitions. I believe Piety's beast and that dark entity are one and the same. Wherever it is, whatever it is, the beast is the cause of my malformation. It would not be a stretch of reason to consider the beast the source of all malformation in Rayclast.
slow me down. That would only slow me down. That would only slow me down.
A fearsome foe's inner torment spills out into the world.
Please, do not be alarmed. I am neither monster nor murderer, though that is the duality of existence that defines San these days. My name is Yosafuanga, and I have the bleak honor of being the sole scholar to the Imperius Intellection, this grand repository of knowledge you see about you. May reason preserve us. In more mundane circumstances, it would be preposterous to ask this of you, an utter stranger, but given that I don't know in which century I might see another pair of flesh and bone hands, there's a door, you see, concealed behind the shelves. It leads into the archives. That's where Isius Perandus concealed his golden pages. Can you see how maddening that would be for me? No, of course you can't. Ridiculous of me to... Suffice to say that they are beyond my reach. 4 Varlish texts they are, of priceless historical insight. Please, find my friend's golden pages and bring them to me. You will be rewarded. I vow it before the ancestors. Let's speak again soon.